Hello, in this video I'm going to talk about how to do a free background check in the state of Louisiana. To get started, visit louisianapublicrecords.org. I'll have a link in the description. You can click on that or just type this into your browser. Now this video is going to be about general background checks that everyday people can do in everyday life situations, so nothing too specific. And I'm going to show you how you can use these public databases, and then I'm going to get to what options you have for criminal records. Since that seems to be one of the more, sought after record types when it comes to background checking. So that'll be in part 2. So let's take a look at this database. For example, let's say you have a big project, a remodeling project, and you're going to put some money into this project, and you want to be comfortable with the individual that you hire to do this job. So for instance, a contractor. Now this could be anybody. This could be a dentist, a gardener, it could be a babysitter, it could be anybody that carries some kind of a license or even like a business. So you have these databases available to you, you can use for free. So for instance, online contractor search, you could search by name, type of contractor, or even a license number. So you want to make sure that they actually have a license. You can see how long, for instance, they've had it for. Maybe you don't necessarily want to put a lot of money into somebody that just got started 2 weeks ago. You could see, are they making their payments on time? Are they organized enough not to be late? Things like that. Is everything still valid? Same thing with the business search. You just type in a business. You could see how long they've had it for. Are they renewing on time? Are there any issues with the state? Things like that. So another thing that you could also add to that is researching court records. And you might want to look into things like civil court records. Maybe the business and the individual, maybe specifically, are there any financial lawsuits pertaining to their work? Maybe a vendor that's not happy, maybe a customer that wasn't happy, and now they've taken them to court and there's a financial or a small claims lawsuit. So maybe you might want to avoid certain individuals that have issues like that. And at the same time, and maybe if you don't find anything, it'll give you a peace of mind that you're working with the right individual. So with that said, let's get to criminal records, and let's hover over more records and click on inmate search. A criminal record typically starts with an arrest. And so like a local police department, sheriff's department will arrest an individual and charge him with a crime, and they would create an arrest record. And so in a lot of counties, you can actually research this information. You can search by name. Sometimes they'll just display these lists, and they'll give you basic identifying information, charges, things like that. In some places, you'll have to search by name. So after they get arrested, they'll either get bailed out, sometimes released, sometimes they'll have to stay in jail, but they will have to see a judge. And so that's where a lot of the criminal record information gets captured, is in the court system. And hover over more records again, and then click on court records. And in Louisiana, it's a little bit more difficult to research court records for free. There isn't a statewide system where you can do this. You do have 80% of the courts have public lookup terminals. And so these are pretty much systems, computer systems set up specifically where the public can come in and research court records. Now that's your option to do it for free. If you choose to, some counties do offer databases that you can use to research this information, but most of them will charge you like a setup fee. Like for example, here you have like $100 setup fee, $50 a month, and it's like this pretty much. Same thing, East Baton Rouge. You also, like if you wanted to research information like criminal inquiries, things like that, you'll have to create an account and set up some kind of subscription service. So very unfortunate. Most states, they give you at least somewhat more information free of charge. In Louisiana, it's slightly different. There are a few states that make it difficult like this, but like I said, you do have the option of stopping by one of these public record terminals and doing your research there. So after court, what happens is the individual is either found guilty or not guilty. If they are guilty, sometimes they will pay a fine. Sometimes they'll have to serve time. And so they might get a prison sentence or a jail sentence. If it's under 12 months, typically they're going to stay in the jail. So you can research that information at the sheriff's office typically. And if it's over 12 months, they're going to be in a prison system, and that's managed by the Louisiana Department of Public Safety and Corrections. And they have their own person locator portal that they utilize, so you can come down and research that information there. One more thing to look at when it comes to criminal records is also the sex offender database, and you can research by your area, or if you have a specific name you want to run through the system, you can also do that. So those are your options. You have your arrests, you have your criminal record, you have your inmate search, you have your sex offender registry. Those are kind of like your core record sources that you can utilize to find criminal information in the state of Louisiana. So one more thing I wanted to mention was you can use the name search on top. Now, this is not a free database, but it's a great database to utilize. It pulls public records, court information, real estate information, criminal records, financial records. There's quite a few public record databases that you might not even be thinking about that they're pulling information from. They also have private databases like cell phone information, previous addresses, and they don't just pull records from the state of Louisiana. It's states outside of Louisiana, so multiple states, kind of giving you like a nationwide look into someone's historic past. It's great, for instance, if somebody's got a record, say in Alabama or in Kentucky, and now they move to Louisiana. If you're just searching in Louisiana at county, at the parish level, or at the state level, you're not necessarily going to see what happened in Alabama or Kentucky. So it's a great resource if you really want to widen the amount of databases and area that you're looking at. And it's an instantaneous search, so you'll quickly figure out if it's a tool that you would want to continue with. So something to consider. So with that said, visit louisianapublicrecords.org and get started on your free background check in the state of Louisiana. Thank you.